What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB here tonight with the review for Real Housewives of Potomac season number 4, episode number 14. And the episode was titled Open Houses and Closed Doors. Wow, interesting episode, you guys. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just get into the video. Alright, so I'm gonna start with the nothings of the episode. So we're gonna start it up with Monique. Monique didn't really have anything going on in this episode until the end of the episode. But in the small scene that we saw with Monique, we saw her with her kids, you saw her with Chris, and you know, she's still preparing for the arrival of baby Chase. You know, she's not gonna go to her 40 weeks, but she wants to have, you know, precautionary measures, you know, because remember last week's episode, she played the trick on Chris where she was, you know, pretending like she was having, going into labor, her water broke. So this week we see her, she has the, like I said, has Chris and the kids, and they have a CPR instructor come over who's going to teach them about, you know, how to perform CPR, which I think is a good thing. I think we all should know how to perform CPR because, you know, anything can happen in life. You know, a person could collapse in front of you right now, and would you know how to perform CPR on them? So I think it's absolutely 100% good that they will learn how to do CPR, but they will learn how to do CPR on a baby, which is a good thing too, how to do it on a baby. But I think it would be more, you know, I think it would be helpful if they knew how to do it on one another. You know, since she has 2 small children, it would be good to know how to do it on the kids as well as to know how to do it on Chris and herself. But I'm pretty sure they probably taught them that as well. Don't know. But yeah, it wasn't really much. You know, the kids weren't really into it, which I wouldn't expect the kids to be into it. You know, because Chris is what, 5 and Milani is 3. So yeah, they're a little rambunctious and, you know, they're antsy. So, you know, it was what it was. It was a small, cute scene for what it was. All right, so next I'm gonna talk about Karen Huger. So we see Karen. Karen has her sister Bridget there, and she and Bridget, they're going to a park. And at the park, what they're going to do is they're going to release balloons in honor of their mom and dad, you know, because their mother died 2 years ago at that point, and their dad was a year ago. But I'm pretty sure, I think now we're coming up on 3. I think it has already passed because last season's reunion was filmed back in the early part of July, and well, June or July, and now we're in August. So I'm pretty sure it's been now, I think it's now probably 3 years and 2 years for both her parents. So, you know, like I said, they release the balloons. They play, you know, Raven's song of Amazing Grace that her mom liked. I thought it was a cute scene. I'm really noticing with Karen. Karen just does not have a lot this season. And that's not a good or a bad thing. You know, she doesn't have a lot of drama that centers around her. So I think it's a good thing to just take a step back. So, I mean, it is what it is with Karen. So then we see another scene where she's with her friend Kia, and they were unpackaging her her bottles for her fragrance, La Dame, which I thought it was I thought it was pretty cool. You know, it's just, we're going to get into her in just a minute, Giselle. Talking about Karen's, you know, in her development stages. Whatever. But congratulations to Karen. I don't know if, I think La Dame is in stores. I'm not 100% positive. I don't wear women's perfume, so I could never tell you. So if it is in the stores, let me know in the comments, you guys. And if it is, have you guys, you know, smelled it? Does it smell good? But we're going to move on from Karen to the next thing that wasn't really much in this episode. All right, next, guys, we got Candace. So we see Candace. She and her mom, Evil D, and her sister, Crystal, I believe that's what her name is, they went out for wine tasting. And I'm like, oh, so you want to get your mama drunk so she can tell you how she really feels about you? Okay, is that smart, Candace? If you say so. So then, you know, they do the wine tasting. They get a little buzz, so they go have something to eat. So when they sit down and have something to eat, the sister Crystal mentions the fact that they went to therapy and how did it go for them. And she asked her mom, did you learn anything about yourself? She's like, oh, I already know about myself. That's not what she asked. And I think what she said, did you learn anything about yourself? Did you learn anything new about yourself? Because people discover new things about themselves each and every day. She can learn a lot of shit about herself. There's a lot that woman can learn about herself. How to be a better therapist. Because I swear to God, on my mom and my grandmother's grave, there is no way on God's green ass earth would I ever seek out Candace's mama for any kind of advice. Not monetary, not psychological, not any kind of advice. I just would not ask that woman for advice because look at her. She is miserable. And you remarried. You had another child who is 10 years younger than Candace is. Like, are you fucking joking with me? Yeah. Something wrong with that woman. And I like how the daughter, and I like what the daughter said to her. You know, when she says you're right. You can learn about yourself. Like, that is true. You can learn about, like, you want Candace to learn about herself, but you can also learn about yourself at the same time. And you know, I love how the sister said that respect is a two-way street. I absolutely 100% love that. I don't know why people feel like just because, you know, I'm older than you, I'm your parent, I'm this, I'm that I automatically have to respect you. I don't automatically have to respect anybody that I don't want to. Respect is given and earned. You earn respect and you give respect. Just because you're my parent, if you treat me like shit, that does not mean that I have to treat you like you're God. You have to give respect in order to get respect. And I was so happy when that sister said that. And I think it's so funny. The sister is younger than Candace, but the sister seems like she's got her head on straight, and she seems more mature than what Candace is. And it's crazy just listening to it. Like, the sister is vocalizing what Candace should say to her mama. Like, yes, mama, you know, I should respect you, but at the same time, you have to treat me with respect as well. I'm an adult. You have to respect my choices. You have to respect my decisions. Like, I was just here for that sister, like, for real, for real. So then she asked, you know, Crystal asked Candace, like, you know, how the girls, like, I haven't saw any of them since the wedding. And then Candace goes ahead and mentions what Giselle told her about, you know, Monique talking shit about her. She's like, and her mom was like, talking shit, talking poo, talking crap. Yes, she was talking. Well, technically, Monique was not talking shit about you. Do I agree with what Monique did? Not even close to it. But speaking of Monique, Bondi Blue, Brittany Bondi Blue, she was on Monique's live, and they were talking. I haven't really finished that live because I've been, you know, in between. But, you know, Monique pointed out a lot of stuff that happened in the episode. I'm not going to talk about it. If you guys do want to go check it out, go check out Monique's IG. It's Monique Samuels. Go check it out. She did a live with Bondi, and she did a live with someone else, but I was just more interested in Bondi because that's my girl. Love Bondi. But, yeah. I just don't think that she was talking shit about you. And I think it was fucked up that she showed the text messages, but she was not necessarily talking shit about you. You just going off of what Giselle says, and we all know Giselle is word vomit. You know, Giselle says, you know, she gets half of the stuff right that she says, but then it's like she adds on to it. Like, as my girl Roxanne says, she puts 20 on 10, which she really does. But we're gonna move on from that because, like I said, it just wasn't much, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it because it's gonna come back up again. Okay, so then we're going to move to Ashley. She actually opened the episode. You guys remember last week's episode. She went to her dad's house, and her Aunt Sheila went up to the door and knocked on the door. And Aunt Sheila said, you know, this is your daughter, Ashley. I'm going to try not to laugh because it wasn't funny, but it was funny. It's not funny at all. I just thought it was kind of, when I wasn't laughing at that situation. It was just the fact that, like, he opened the door and he spoke to the sister, and when she said, this is Ashley, your daughter, you just heard that door go boom and lock. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? There is something seriously wrong with this guy. And, you know, I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of Kenya, that season that she went to find her mom and her mama, you know, turned her away. And, you know, I can't say that I was surprised what happened to Ashley. I did feel so bad for Ashley because Ashley broke down and cried. And then, you know, her Uncle Jim, who was, you know, not for it at all, you know, he said, you know, he had a feeling that was going to happen. And I did too. I don't know. I know Bravo wanted to add some suspense to it with drawing it out to this week's episode. But I knew right off the bat that man was not going to be receptive to Ashley coming to his door. Now, you know, I think let me see how I want to say this and word it correctly and not ruffle any feathers. You know, one thing is Ashley and them showed up to his door unannounced, and I didn't think that that was cool. I didn't think it was cool for them to just show up unexpectedly to his door. Like, give the man a little bit of a heads up. Like, you could have, what they could have done, you could have had Aunt Sheila call him and say, hey, you know, is it a good time for me to come over and visit you for a little bit? And if he said yeah, then that would have been fine. You know, so she would have been like, okay, Ashley, what I'm going to do is, and that's what they could have did. They could have called him before they went over there. Now, not saying that the situation would have changed, the outcome would have changed, but at least the man would have had a heads up that his sister was coming. But then to see Ashley, I know he would have still slammed the door in her face, but at least get him in heads up that you come to his house. But I also think that he's, like I said, I think it's just something fucked up about that dad, that you could look at your child and close the door in her face. Like, wow. And like I said, I do feel bad for Ashley because I know that situation. I don't know that exact situation, but if you guys have been around my channel for a while, you guys know that I have a rocky relationship with my birth mother. And, you know, just like with Ashley, his dad blocking her on Facebook, my birth mother blocked me on Facebook. And it's not because I reached out to her. It's because of a Facebook post. It's because of a post that I made on Mother's Day. I think it was 5 years ago, thanking my mom and my grandmother for raising me. And she got so offended by that she blocked me. She blocked me up until the time that my grandmother died. And my grandmother passed away in 2013. So I think this happened back in 2000 and this was like 2000. Actually, this has been longer than 5 years. I think this happened. I think the Facebook post happened in 2009 or 2009 or 2010, one of the two. So it's been a lot longer than 5 years. But you know, she blocked me because of that, and I really didn't give a shit about it. But you know, I'm like, it is what it is. You can block me. I don't really care. I know who my parents are, and that leads me to that. You know, I get why Ashley's doing what she did. You know, she wanted to just close a chapter in her life, and I definitely 100% understand that, because that is why my birth mother and I don't talk now, because she refuses to tell me who my biological father is. And you know, I think for me, I've come to the conclusion that I don't even need to know who the guy is, because it doesn't even matter to me, because as I just said a minute ago, I know who my mom was biologically and, you know, adoptive. I know who my mother was, and my mother was the one that raised me from day one, and my grandmother helped her raise me, so that was another mother to me. And when both my mom and my grandmother, actually after my grandmother passed away, I was devastated. But then when my mom passed away, it just took me time to think to myself, like, wow, what are you chasing at? I had to ask myself, what am I chasing after? What am I looking for? Because what I was quote unquote looking for, I always had it. So and that's what I had to ask myself. Was I trying to replace my mom and my grandmother in my life? And when I came to the conclusion that no, I'm not trying to replace them, that I was so happy with them, that was when I made peace with my life. And I'm like, you know what? If I never know my dad, that is fine. And I think Ashley just needed to have that door slammed in her face to see, okay, this guy's a piece of shit. And what am I looking for? Was I looking for acceptance? And I feel like that's what it is for Ashley. Ashley is looking for acceptance from her dad, which she's then transferred to Michael and securing the bag as well. But I think that's what it is she wants acceptance. And then when her and her mom went back to the hotel room, Ashley, like, she wrote him once, so you wrote him, but he never wrote you back. That should have let you know. I'm assuming Ashley was a young girl when that happened. And then she said she messaged him twice on Facebook before he blocked her. Like, Ashley, how many signs did you need? Like, that's what bothers me. That's the only thing that bothers me with Ashley. 3 times? How many signs did you need for that man to tell you he don't give a fuck about you? And I do feel bad for Ashley in that sense. I really 100% do feel bad for Ashley. And then we saw Michael and her talking, and she's just, explaining to Michael what all happened. And Michael asked her, did she, try to, once he slammed the door in her face, did she try to, knock again? I'm like, she said yes, but I would have said no. What the fuck am I knock again for? He literally looked at me, scrunched his face up and growled at me and slammed the fucking door. No. He's lucky that I didn't, no. I just would have said no. Like, how much humiliation can one person take? And as much as I don't like, again, as much as I don't like Ashley, I 100% felt Ashley in that situation. But, a hard head makes a soft ass, as they say. And I'm not saying that in the sense of she's hard-headed. I'm saying that in the sense that, she's listening. She should have listened to her head. Her head is telling her one thing, but, well, not hard. I shouldn't have said hard-headed ass make a soft ass. She's pig-headed. She's pig-headed, and she's stuck in what she wants, and she's not thinking. Like I said, the man has made it obvious to you he's not interested in you. And again, I know she wants to fill that void in her life, but the man is not interested in you at all. Again, is it fucked up? Abso-fucking-lutely. I think he's a piece of shit. Literally, figuratively, and any other way there is. He's a piece of shit. Alright, and then lastly we got Miss Robin. So, Robin has finally finished that piece of shit house that she was, working on for 10 months. 10 fucking months. So now she wants to go into a new business. I said, oh, the fuck no. One, take that money, put it in your checking account, hold on to it, don't let her touch shit with it. Because now she want to go into the trucking business. I said, here she go with these get-rich-quick schemes. Huh. Robin. Again, I would not entrust Robin with any ounce of money in the world. And then she got her girlfriend Giselle there with her. And, they go for a ride in the truck. And, they're talking about, Robin, she's having an open house for the house. And, she's asking Giselle if she coming. She says yes. She says, okay, well, Monique is coming, right? Can you at least keep the peace with Monique? She says, yeah, I can keep the peace with Monique. I'm like, bull fucking shit. You are not going to be able to keep the peace with Monique. So then we see the house. The house is actually really nice. And then, her realtor tells her that there's a guy interested in buying the house because, it's in his price range and he likes the neighborhood. But then I was in the Karen talked to someone else and they're talking about how the neighborhood was bad. I'm like, so you put okay. So he's interested in, I wonder what the asking price was. Because, Robin was talking about how she's probably not even going to break even with this. I wonder what the asking price was. And then I'm wondering what she would actually get for it. But that's neither here nor there. So all the girls are there with the exception of Giselle and Candace. So, Ashley, she's talking to Robin about what happened at the trip. And Robin is just giving her, some words of encouragement. She's like, there are so many, despite what he did, there are so many people that love you. I'm like, that's nice. I don't know if I would have said it to Ashley, but that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. And then, Robin says she got her clothes. I'm like, again, that's nice. So then Giselle comes in and, Monique goes up to hug and she's like, oh, we hugging? I'm like, oh my God, like really? You just walked into the door and now you immediately going at Monique? Because she's talking about, you told Ashley that you don't like, that me and Robin don't like you. Oh God, Giselle is frustrating as hell to me. Like, I really, part of me when the show first started, I wanted to like Giselle. Season one, I think I did like Giselle. But then as the seasons go by, it's like, okay, season one, I was like, she's an outspoken person. I can stand up for that. But then as time goes on and on and on, I'm like, okay, you can't stand up for nastiness because she's a piece of work is what she is. Like, she's an irritating piece of work. Oh God, like, how do you immediately walk into this party, open house at that, where Robin is, showing off the house. She has potential buyers there, and you are showing your ass. I get we're filming the show, and I don't know why, why did she wait for like, you can have a soft open house with the girls so that they can see the house instead of having your potential, your actual business partners there, a potential buyer there. You can pick another time to do that. you had to wait for the cameras to roll. So I can't really say 100% that I blame Giselle as much as, Robin's involved too. Like, damn. Like, that was, but I can't blame Giselle because you didn't have to come in there on the way you did. You could have came in there, you could have been like, oh, hey, Monique, I heard some stuff that, that Ashley told me. Can me and you, like, let's have lunch. Let's talk on the side. Let's have lunch. Or, let's step outside right quick. The cameras can, you guys can come with us. Camera crew, come with us. We're going to talk outside, and you pull her to the side. But don't sit there and do that in an open environment where there are potential buyers for a house there. That was just tacky as hell. So then Karen asked Ashley, she was like, so, Ashley, why did you take this information back to Giselle? And, Ashley was like, well, because there has been some issues between Giselle and Monique, and I just wanted to clear the air since I'm friends with, Giselle, and I'm friends with Monique. I get it, Ashley. You could have brought that up in a group setting, but whatever. So then they bring Candace up into the conversation when Giselle said that, Candace told her that Ashley was not welcome to enter her house. And that is not what she said. And I'm so glad that Monique called that out. Like, you and your fairy tales, and Bravo played the flashback. She did not say that Ashley was not welcome in her house. She said when Ashley came to her house, she was only on outside of the house by the pool. That was all she said. Like, oh my God. And then Candace shows up. And Candace joins into the conversation. I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is irritating. Like, I know that they have to do this for the show, but God, really? And, Monique was said before Candace got there, she doesn't know what the state of her friendship is with Candace because she feels like with Candace wants her to take a side. And when she says take a side, she means between her and Ashley. And I think that is juvenile and childish as hell. And, then Candace brings up the text messages. And, Monique is like, yeah, I did it. And what? Oh, God. But that was the episode, you guys. It wasn't a whole lot, but that was the episode. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later for Claws, the season finale. I'm probably going to put that up like early before I go to work.